Okay, I'm about to do chapter 19, the Gatineaus from Like a Slow Burning Fire. But before that, I'm just going to show you the last chapter. Uh, my old brown leather jacket came into the last couple of chapters. It was the one that I went by my old girlfriend's house, Holly's house, and she'd thrown it at the end of the driveway, and I picked it up, and here it is. This is my old beat up old brown leather jacket. There it is. It's a classic. It's a beauty. Look at that thing. Decades down the road, I've still got it. Doesn't fit, not even close. I'd like to try it on, but kind of embarrassing. But anyway, there it is. Things we hold on to. Okay. So on to chapter 19, the Gatineaus. Here goes. It's Sunday morning and I wake up late. My dad calls me and says, no bus washing this morning, but instead, how about I pick up some people in wheelchairs after church and take them for a ride through the Gatineau Hills and then take them home? Notre Dame, he says, the Basilica on Sussex. Make sure you park around the side. When you're in the Gatineau, stop at a chip wagon, get them something to eat. Chips and a Coke. I say sure, and I call Freddie to see if he's up for riding shotgun. Freddie says I'm in, and I say perfect, pick you up at 11. I head to my dad's garage and pick up a wheelchair van and the route manifest, which has the addresses on it. I've done the odd Sunday morning church run before, and I don't have my license to drive commercially, but the old man doesn't care. Just mind your business and drive the van, he says. Don't be a fool, and it'll be fine. I pick up Freddie, and we head to the Basilica. I ask him how his summer classes are going, and he says good. He's finishing up a program in surveying at Algonquin, and he says his dad knows a guy who works for the city, and there's a job waiting for him when he finishes. Simple as that, eh? I say, nice. Yeah, nothing to it, says Freddie. Connections, buddy boy, it's who you know. He asks me about teachers' college, and I say, yeah, it's not looking good. Stick with it, he says. Where there's a way, there's a will, and I laugh, and he says, what's so funny? Nothing, I say, and then he asks me about Holly. Yeah, that's done, I tell him. Something happened? Not really, just after that TJ's night, didn't feel right, I don't know. Did you tell her about the pickup night? He says. What? No, never came up. You never told her? No, why would I tell her? Yeah, it kind of says it all. Had a feeling something was up with her at TJ's. Seemed like she wasn't into it. She didn't even sing along with John Denver. Yeah, and on the way home, she got on me about how my music sucks. And no fucking way you're letting that go. Yeah, I tried, seriously. I shut my mouth till I couldn't take it, then I fucking snapped. Like she's on me about my tunes, and she likes bogus Dick Astley and shit Milli Vanilli. I told her I wouldn't wipe my ass with Milli fucking Vanilli. Wouldn't wipe your ass with them? What? Whatever, it felt good. And then it was over. And who gives a shit? Better now than in 10 years. Like married and it's shitty, and kids, then divorce. And I hear it's a rich man's game. Easy come, easy go, he says, and I say, yeah. We get to the church, and our 3 passengers are waiting for us in the sidewalk. Freddie and I get them into the van via the automatic ramp. 2 of them I already know. Peter, a guy with cerebral palsy who's about 30, and Mr. Woolsey, who's 80-ish and super chatty. Then there's Maria, a 20-year-old girl who ended up in a wheelchair after getting into an accident with a drunk driver. We strap them in, and we're on our way. I tell them before they go home, we're going for a drive through the Gatineaus. Is that okay? And Peter says, that's what we always do with Patty. Are we going to get chips? Yeah, chips for sure, I say. And a can of Coke? Yeah, sure, a Coke, I say. I look in the rearview mirror, and he's smiling. It's a quick drive across the river to the Quebec side, and we're all chatting, especially Freddie. He finds out that he dated Maria's cousin a couple of years ago. And when she puts it together, she says, you're that Freddie. And he says, it depends. And then Maria tells us about her accident. She says it was a winter night, and she was driving home from her boyfriend's house in the East End and was about to get on the Queensway when this drunk guy about our age in a BMW crossed the yellow line and hit her head on. Man, that's awful, I say. Yeah, she says. What made it worse was how everyone treated me once I got out of the hospital. I was home doing all this rehab work, and it was endless and so hard. All my friends were coming by, which was nice. And I know they cared, but to them, it was like I was somebody else. They didn't talk about stuff that was going on in their lives and school and guys or anything. It was like I was this different person. When, yeah, okay, I get it, but it was still me in there, you know? It's better now, but I don't know. I just wish they saw me the way they used to. It's like they're all extra polite now and afraid to tell me what's going on. Yeah, Freddie says. It's got to be so hard. It is, she says. And you know what? Who's really been good to me through all this? I look in the rearview mirror and see that she's smiling. Your dad, she says. He's been great, so funny, and like he swears at me to hurry up when he comes to pick me up, and even gave me the slice of pizza one time and was so good. Then he stopped at Max and got me a Coke because the pizza was hot, and he said, "You need Coke with your pizza." Your dad, he talked to me the way people used to talk to me. It meant a lot to me. It really did. Yeah, I say, he's not afraid to speak his mind, no doubt. Mr. Woolsey's been listening to Maria tell her story, and then he asks if I'm the one who wants to be a teacher. I say, yeah, and he says, I got 50 years and National Geographics I'm getting rid of. They're yours. I told your dad, did he mention it to you? Maybe you could use them when you're a school teacher. There's lots of good stuff in those magazines. You could use them with the kids, and they can learn. I tell him, oh yeah, my dad mentioned it. That'd be great, thanks, even though my dad hadn't said a word. Mr. Woolsey tells me he's given everything away. Then he asks Freddie if he'd like an electric razor. Sure, Freddie says, I'll take it. Mr. Woolsey says, it works perfect. Not a thing wrong with it. I'll throw it in with the magazines. I park the van at a lookout, and Fitzy's Fritz is right there, so we're good. Freddie and I get everyone out of the van and park them by a stone wall where they can take in the view, and I walk over to the chip wagon to get a round of fries and Cokes. Everybody's eating their fries and talking and taking in the beautiful scenery. Trees, mountains, and a deep, lush valley with a creek running through it. Freddie and I are sitting on a bench facing the valley below when Freddie says, this is nice. Great view, wicked fries. Yeah, I say. When we were kids, we take all these people in wheelchairs up here or to a riders game or a museum, and my brothers and I would push them around all over the place. Nice, Freddie says. Yeah. That's how I know Peter, Mr. Woolsey, pushing them around at the War Museum or whatever. And Peter, when he was a kid, my dad used to pick him up from school and bring him by our house on the way home. My mom would make spaghetti, and Peter would be struggling, and the old man would tell us to help him out for Jesus' sake. And we're feeding the guy his spaghetti because with the old man, you had no fucking choice. Yeah. And can you believe that razor thing? I love it, he says. Yeah, I say. My dad told me Mr. Woolsey's going into the Pearly, where the vets go when they don't have anyone, and he won't be coming home. As in, Freddie says, that's it? Yeah, I say. Sad. So sad, Freddie says. And that girl, Maria. Rough, man. Such a shitty deal. Yeah, the powers that be, I say. And she still goes to church. Man, after what she's been through, she still finds a reason to believe. Unreal. And her cousin. Who was that? Val from the bank at Carlingwood. A couple summers ago. Super nice. Remember? Oh, yeah. The girl you dumped after we saw Mellencamp. You got a crush on his fiddle player. Val, yeah. Freddie smiles and stuffs fries into his mouth. We load everyone up and get on the road. We're driving along, listening to the radio, and Johnny Horton's North to Alaska comes on, and Mr. Woolsey and Freddie sing along. We get everyone home, and we're on the parkway heading back to the garage when Freddie looks over at me. I always wondered why your old man made you guys do all this stuff, he says. I nod my head. Yeah. And that is the end of chapter 19.